Hi, I'm Tony Solis. I'm the head coach of the men's varsity rugby team here at Thomas College. I grew up in the foothills of western Maine in a town called Wilton, which is next door to Farmington. So if you're a Mainer, you probably know where those places are because it's on the way to Sugarloaf. And I went to high school there, and then I decided that I loved it so much I wanted to stay and go to college there. I was a football player and also played lacrosse, but then when I got to college, I was pestered almost every single day by the captain of the rugby team to go down and attend practice. And so finally, I caved in. If it would get him off my back, I said that I would go down and I would do one practice, and as long as he left me alone about it. And well, I never left. So I'm not gonna lie to you. I told you I was competitive, and I am. The guys that I'm recruiting are all competitive, and I think ultimately within the next 3 years, we want to be making a trip to Houston, Texas, which is typically where the national championship tournament is held. That's definitely our ultimate goal, and I think everything that we're going to do over the first, second, and third years is going to be building towards that goal. It might sound a little cocky or it might sound a little arrogant, but I think at the end of the day that I know the type of commitment and players that it takes to get to that point. I've had teams in the past that were very talented and we got very, very close. And we did that with players that had never played before they got to college. So I know that it's possible when you combine, students from abroad and kids that have been playing since they were in middle or even elementary school. And I know that we can do that. So that's our ultimate goal. And I think along the way, we want to get really, really tight. And, something that I fully believe is that I want my teams to be known on campus for all the right reasons and not all the wrong ones. And so, when they talk about the rugby players, I want everybody on campus to, talk about them in a positive way, and that they're some of the best people that they know on the campus in general. Yeah, I think the number one thing that's most important to me is that we have fun. It's a children's game, and most games that we play are children's games, and that's where we started to play them. So I think to keep players engaged, to keep myself engaged, it should be about fun. I'm also an extremely competitive individual. My wife and all of my closest friends will tell you that I'm extremely competitive. But at the end of the day, very few of us are going to be professional in these games. So it's important that we're having fun while we're doing it. And I think part of that fun is the daily competitions that we have in practices. And then beyond that, I want my players to jouer, as we say in rugby, and I want my players to play. I want my players to have all the ball skills necessary for the game of rugby and express them as creatively as they can within the systems and the structures that we've put in place as a team in order to kind of get the best out of the pieces that we have here. Culture is something that's definitely a buzzword, and ultimately, kind of my belief around the culture piece is that it's really a collection of daily actions, and those are going to be on the field, those are going to be off the field, and so I think we as a team build our culture. I don't think it's something that the coach necessarily has to be in charge of because they're not the ones out there playing, and so it's really important to me that the team decides what they want that culture to look like, and then we're all working together to make sure that we're representing that culture in the way that we want. Again, I think underpinning all of that is this idea of having fun and enjoying being around one another. And I think that's something that's really important to the game of rugby, is that we're all brothers. And that, something that I say about being brothers is that you don't always like your brother, but you definitely still love them. And so I think that's another massive component to making sure that the culture is really strong, is that we love one another in various ways. And I don't think in the game of rugby you can put your body on the line the way that you do without some semblance of affection and a deep caring for the guys beside you.